Hi everyone, I'm Kelly Palmatier, a psychic medium who's channeling white light towards a better world. This is the second episode of the Channeling White Light show. Peace, man! So I'm glad to be back. In this episode, I interview Eleanor Ashton of Homeward Bound, and we've got lots of other cool content coming up, including divine development, questions and answers, psychic story time, and more. So let's go! Welcome to the spiritual news and commentary segment of the show. We'll start with part A, spiritual news. I have a couple of events to tell you about. Please note I'm not affiliated with these events in any way. First, I'd like to announce that there are 2 Spirit Fest metaphysical and holistic fairs happening in Florida. The first is in Sarasota on October 9th through 10th, and the second is in Melbourne, Florida on October 31st through November 1st. For a small entry fee, these events include vendors, readers, healers, holistic health practitioners, artists, authors, crystals, and more. Please note they do specify they are following CDC guidelines for a safe event. You can read more about this event at sanctuaryfl.com. Also, I'd like to announce the 34th Annual World Congress on Illumination. This is a live, online, virtual event taking place on October 17th through the 22nd. This 6-day event is free, and it includes live online presentations and guided meditations. You can read more and register for this event at the website, which is eraofpeace.org. Now for part B, commentary. What would you like me to talk about? Would you like me to talk about the weather? Small talk is always an option if you want to be safe, be boring. Well, today I'm going to be real, be courageous. That's right, today I'm going to talk about politics. Yeah. Wait, before you boo me off the stage, hear me out. Here in America, we are fast approaching an election day, and the amount of political divide in our country is disturbing. We've reached a point where we can't support equal rights or support honest and compassionate law enforcement without feeling like we're stepping into the boxing ring of political divide. And some people are so overzealous about protecting their own point of view that it's become quite common to lose friends over politics these days, especially on social media, where the impulse to repost a meme that you agree with or unfriend someone with a contrary opinion only requires a quick, impersonal click, click, click. The problem that we run into with this unfriending mentality is that we isolate ourselves into a world where we see only content that we agree with. Even Google adapts the search results to what it thinks we want to see. This is called a filter bubble or confirmation bias. While it makes mindless scrolling more enjoyable, the problem is that it's more polarizing for our society in general. For this reason, I strongly encourage everyone to not only become informed about current events, but to pay close attention to the source of all information you come across. Definitely avoid getting any news from social media. And make a point to read at least the headlines from a variety of news sources with opposing political leaning from your own. For example, if your political beliefs are more conservative, for every headline you read from a right-leaning news source such as Fox News, the New York Post, or the Washington Examiner, be sure to also read at least a headline from a left-leaning source such as CNN, Mother Jones, or Raw Story, and vice versa if your political beliefs are more liberal. And be sure to include a good amount of news from neutral sources that are independently evaluated as center, meaning that they state an independent and unbiased agenda and they consistently provide balanced coverage, giving time to both sides of an issue. Neutral sources that are generally trusted by both Democrats and Republicans include the Wall Street Journal, USA Today, and BBC News. By the way, both PBS and NPR are also independently rated as center, even though polls indicate they're not as trusted by conservatives. While not perfect, you may want to consider a news aggregator, such as the website allsides.com or the smartphone app called Smart News. And if you're thinking you've seen enough of the news and you're considering not voting, please remember that apathy toward voting is a primary mentality that's being pushed by confirmed foreign election interference. People have died for our right to vote. Let's not waste that precious commodity. And remember, we're not just voting for an individual, we're voting to protect the ideals we believe in, whether that's the safety of the American people, the environment, a fair and balanced judicial system, equal rights, our social systems of protection, and more. We may not always agree on political issues, but it's vitally important that we all do our part to be informed from bias-free news sources, be a free thinker, and be a voter.
In 1996, my 18-year-old son Jason passed away in an electrical accident. Before Jason died, I really had no interest in what happens after we die. After Jason died, it was the only thing I cared about because I needed to find him. Because if I couldn't find him, I wasn't sure I was going to stick around. Jason died in 1996. Horrible grief. Talked to him every day, constantly about getting in touch with me. I needed to hear from him. I needed to know that he still existed. I wasn't accepting the idea that I could love him for 18 years and then he was just zapped and he was gone. It made no sense to me. Why would I want to stick around if that's the way life is? So, constantly every day I told him, you need to come through. You need to get a message to me. I need to know you're here. You need to know you can hear me. Just call someone or talk to someone. I gave him a list of names. I gave him phone numbers, constantly talking to him and told him, just tell him to call your mom. That's all I need to hear. Just tell him to call your mom. And then I'll know you hear me. And about 11 months after I started talking to him, after he died, that happened. And I got a phone call from John Edward. John Edward told me that he thought he had a message for me from my son. And the whole story is in my book. Telling it in 30 seconds or a minute and a half is not easy. So I just wanted to get that in there. That's why I wrote my book. That's why I'm on this journey. That's what my book's about. It's about Jason, not Jason's death so much as Jason's journey after death. I would encourage you all to read it. It's available on Amazon and CompassionBooks.com. It's called Love Never Dies, A Mother's Journey from Loss to Love. So I wrote that in 2001. I believe it was published in 2002. It's still very relevant today, as anyone who has lost a child will know and will tell you that if they've read the book. 20 years later, in 2017, my oldest son, Jeremy, also passed away. That is a different journey than my first one. It's sort of like a different fork in the road. So I'd already gained and grew so much after Jason's death that Jeremy's death was different. And I'm still feeling my way through that. Not sure what I'm going to do with that, where I'm going with it. It's just different. Not easier, but different. I know Jeremy and Jason are together. I know they're very much with me. I know they're listening to me right now, and I hope I'm saying things that they like. Two very impactful statements that I want to make sure I get in on this 4-minute video. After Jason died, sometime in there, when I did my hair, I always seemed to talk to him a lot. When I was doing my hair, it's kind of meditative. And one morning I said to him, so are you still going to be there when I die? Are you going to be there? Because the whole reincarnation thing really scares bereaved parents. So I asked him that question, and I heard very clearly, probably the clearest I ever heard him in my head say, Mom, I was here even when I was there with you. So think about that. That's number one. The second statement was after Jeremy died. I received it, heard it from Esther Hicks, who channels Abraham. It's a group of entities that she is able to channel and give messages. You could find her on YouTube. Her husband died recently, well, in the last few years, and after he died, she said she got the message. You have to stop looking for me where I was and find me where I am. And that is just a huge wow statement for me, for Jeremy. And so that's what I'm feeling my way through with Jeremy. That's what I'm looking for. Get my book, follow Kelly. This was great.
Today I'm here with Eleanor Ashton of Homeward Bound. Eleanor, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell me a little bit about yourself and your role there at Homeward Bound.
Sure. So I'm the Senior Resource Development Director, and our department deals with resources. So we are in charge of fundraising, events, in-kind donations through our donation center, and volunteerism, which is a very strong resource that we have.
Now tell me about the needs in the society that Homeward Bound fills.
Homeward Bound's mission is to prevent and end homelessness in our community through permanent housing and support. So last year we have an A-Hope Day Center, which is our homeless day center. It's the only one in the region. And last year, 3,600 people came through the doors of A-Hope. Luckily, the vast majority are just temporarily homeless. They've had a job loss, a divorce, they have had a housing crisis, they ended up homeless. And through support from family and friends, often they resolve their homelessness. We tend to deal with the 25% that are chronically homeless, that have been unhoused for a year or more and have at least one disabling condition. Often it's PTSD, it's mental illness, could be drug use.
So many different factors
So
involved.
many different
Absolutely.
factors. But the one thing they all have in common is they don't have the support system that you and I would have if we ran into a housing crisis.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So tell me about the services that Homeward Bound offers to help that problem out.
Sure. Primarily, we find permanent housing for folks that are experiencing homelessness, and we support them with case management services. So what it could look like is somebody who's homeless heard about our A-Hope Day Center. They come there, they have an intake, and we get them into our system. And we set them up with a housing plan. So as you can imagine, in Asheville, where affordable housing is very limited, it isn't a quick fix. But immediately we will start working with them and provide any other resources that they might need. If it's clothing, perhaps they go to Haywood Street Congregation. If it's food, man a food bank. If it's mental health counseling, RHA. If it's legal needs, PISTA Legal Services. So we partner with a lot of different nonprofits in the community.
And is this a technique that would work for other organizations across the country who are battling
Absolutely,
homelessness?
absolutely. So the technique or approach we use is housing first. And that's exactly what it sounds like. We believe in finding housing first before you provide other support structures like finding a job and that type of thing. If you are living outside and unhoused, you are struggling just to survive.
Right.
So once you get into housing, your stress levels drop, you start eating better, sleeping better, your general well-being improves, and then you are open for services that can help you with jobs.
Yeah.
And
If I were living outside, finding a job would not be the first priority on my list.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
exactly. You don't even have a place to take a shower. And if you've got kids, you don't have daycare to send your kids, you don't have a vehicle to get there. So it's a multi-layered issue.
Yeah. So what can the public do to help?
Well, right now, an immediate need that we have is, well, funding is always a need that we have.
Of
Because
course.
as you can imagine, we get a lot of grants, but they don't pay for everything. And we have to pay rent for folks, we have to pay upfront deposits, that type of thing, to get them into housing.
Mhm.
But our A-Hope Day Center is under renovation right now. So, and due to COVID, only 10 people at a time can come in.
That's rough.
So a lot more people are going to be outside this winter, and it's
Ah.
expected to be a cold winter. So we're looking for
yeah.
coats, hats, socks,
Mhm.
scarves, warm clothing.
And do blankets help or just warm
Yes,
clothing?
yeah, blankets help a lot, especially those Mylar blankets that,
Uh-huh.
that are easily, they can carry on their back
Yeah.
and travel with.
Okay.
Many of the, also tents, camping equipment. Many of the folks that we serve are camping. You
Mhm.
know, that's how they live outside. So
Okay.
any type of camping gear is really important.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good. So what's the best way for the public to reach you if they want to help out with these things?
Really, our website is very informative. www.homewardboundwnc.org. We have a donation center in Woodfin where they can drop off in-kind donations. We're always looking for furniture, toilet paper, paper towels, you know, detergent, consumable products. When we move somebody into a home, we put them in a fully furnished home, and we give them what we call a move-in box, which has detergent and dishwashing soap and
Excellent.
you know, sheets and pillowcases. So those are all the things that we need. And they can be donated at our Welcome Home Donation Center at 215 Elk Park Highway.
And that's in Woodford.
And that's it.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so informative, and I really appreciate everything you guys do for the homeless in
Yeah.
Asheville, and you know, there's such a great need.
It certainly is. Yeah. And there's an expected increase in homelessness because of COVID and because of unemployment. It is expected to increase 40%.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we really need the community. Homelessness is a community issue, and it takes a village to solve it.
And you've given us several ways that we can help, things that we can contribute,
Yes.
funds. If you look at all the different ways to help, what's the number one that you need right now? Would that be funding?
Funding. Funding is usually to fill the gaps that the grants don't fill. That we can use. Also volunteers.
Yeah.
Definitely we need volunteers. It's a little limited right now because of COVID.
Okay.
But A-Hope is being renovated. That should be done by the end of December. And then a whole new world of volunteerism will open up. But we're always looking for people to make sandwiches, to
Nice.
do donation drives for us. That's something faith communities can do, business communities can do, and individuals can do.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, thank you for taking some time to come and speak with me this morning. Just as a small token of my appreciation for the time that you're committing here to me today, I am donating a gift certificate for a psychic reading or a mediumship reading.
Nice.
So you brought some names with you
I
of
have.
some top staff or volunteers.
Yes, I actually have brought two names, and one is a top staff, Amber, who let me know as I was leaving to come do this interview that she loves psychic readings.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, she's our communications director. And then Kelly Pierce, who's a wonderful volunteer. She volunteers at our donation center. She's also chair of our resource development committee. So
Okay. So you brought two names to choose from?
I did.
Well, you know what? Let's put away the hat. I'm going to give you 2 gift certificates.
Oh, aren't you wonderful? Oh, thank you. They will love
You're
that.
welcome.
They're both outstanding people.
Good, good.
Oh,
Oh, good.
great. Thanks so much, Kelly.
Well, thanks again for coming. Anything else you'd like to say?
Just that we really, homelessness is a community issue, and it does take the community to solve it. And our community is wonderful here in Asheville, and so we just love the help. Contact us, see how you can be involved. Of course, financial donations, like any nonprofit, are very helpful, and just your prayers and your support.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There's a famous quote that, when I looked it up, was attributed to Zen Cohen. The quote is, "Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water." Of course, we may prefer to modify it these days to wash dishes, fold laundry, but you know what I mean. From time to time, we all experience the drudgery of chores and just trudging through the work that needs to be done. Yet some chores can be mindless in a way where you can find yourself getting into the zone or enjoying a spiritual link or some quiet introspection. That, coupled with pride in a task complete and a job well done, and you can really enjoy some authentic contentment with life's simple tasks. That alone should be good incentive to persevere. Yet, let's not forget, there are great achievements on the other side of persistence and perseverance. As an inventor, Thomas Edison made 1,000 unsuccessful attempts before inventing the light bulb. Just think about how easy it would be to quit after just a few tries, or certainly after a few hundred tries. Allegedly, a reporter once asked Edison, "How did it feel to fail 1,000 times?" Edison replied, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps." Another great quote is attributed to Winston Churchill. "If you're going through hell, keep going." When you think about the greatest achievements throughout history, you'd be hard-pressed to find one that was 100% successful on the first try. And we know that consistent effort over time can have amazing results. For example, whether we're talking about the deepest canyon or a simple river rock, we know that a river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. So hang in there, whether you're striving for a goal or you're just taking care of business. It's worth it. I felt like I was picking up on a piece of furniture, it feels like. It feels like it's wooden, and there may even be the color red. So I don't know if you've got some red wooden furniture. It felt like I was thinking about a chair or a stool, and possibly even a rocking chair.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I have an Adirondack chair that I need to repaint that's red.
Ah, okay. Okay, you've got a red wooden chair. Oh, that's good. Very good.
I know. That's weird.
Somebody have an M name? Marcus or something similar?
Well, my son, we called him Mark.
Okay. Perfect. Now, why am I picking up on a necklace?
I have his necklace that I kept.
Okay. I did briefly see a little flash, a little image of cherry blossoms. So this looked to me like a big flowering tree, like a cherry blossom tree, like you might see in Japan or in Washington, D.C. They've got a bunch of cherry blossom trees together. I did see that. And then moments later, I very briefly felt the image of a waterfall.
I actually have a tattoo sleeve that's got water, and it's not a cherry blossom, but it's peonies. So like Japanese like old school work, or you know. Yeah, so that's kind of bizarre, but yeah.
Okay, wow. That's perfect. That's great. Well, as long as you know what it meant, why I was picking up on it. That just showing that I was tuning into the energy.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, very good. I'm getting a reference to green pastures. So are you around pastures?
Well, there's a pasture right in front of me right now.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. Perfect. Good. Good. I did see some greenery that feels like some woods here. It feels a little more dense. I actually thought it might look a little bit like bamboo.
Oh, yeah. We know, yeah.
It's right here in the backyard.
Okay. Perfect.
That's the new house we just bought.
Okay. So they're acknowledging that they were with you when you bought the house, that they see what's going on.
That's good to know.
I saw something that looked like a special stone or gemstone. I want to say agate or maybe a green aventurine or something. Or maybe there's a piece of jewelry that has like a slice of agate or...
I have a necklace with a piece of green aventurine in the middle that her son gave me.
That's it. Yeah. Who has an M name? Margaret or M?
That's my grandmother, Margaret.
You have a grandmother named Margaret and she's in spirit?
Yes, she's in spirit, yes.
Okay. Who's got the D name? Dave?
My father-in-law, David.
Okay. Perfect. Good. I love when they come through with exact names. So we got Margaret and we got David. Nice.
Yes.
I just wished I could just see a vision of Randy. You know, I have people tell me that after their loved ones pass, they've seen him, you know, and I've prayed that I could just see him just one more time. Just,
Yeah. He says that he was by your side when you were in the hospital.
Can I tell you something that happened in the hospital that whenever I was in ICU for a week, it happened on a Sunday, and that following Sunday, I started waking up because they had me in a medically induced coma because I had so many broken ribs and stuff. I would have been in so much pain. And when I did come to, the first thing I asked was, "Where's Randy?" Well, the preacher came in to tell me my son was here on my left side, and my sister and daughter were on my right side. And until just maybe 6 months to a year ago, we were talking about it. I was talking about it with my daughter, and I said, I remember the preacher being there. I said, because he was standing at the foot of the bed, and I can still see it. She said, Mama, no, he wasn't. I said, he was standing up at your head, rubbing your head. I said, no, honey, he was standing at the foot of my bed. I could still see his image. I couldn't see him. It was just like a black figure. And they swerved down. It was Randy standing there while he was telling me.
So that is perfect. So for me to say he was with you in the hospital, and you have a memory of seeing someone in the hospital, and this, we're talking about this right after you're talking about how you wished that you could see him standing there. So he's reminding you that you did see him standing there. Today, I'd like to talk about dreams. Many people believe that dreams are simply a mental dumping ground of your brain as it filters out toxins during sleep. Specifically, some researchers believe cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, may flush out toxic waste, essentially cleaning the brain, and this flushing out process is significantly increased during sleep. But does that mean that all dreams are garbage? Not necessarily. Scientists also believe that the slow electrical oscillations, or slow waves, that characterize deep sleep contribute to memory consolidation, the process whereby new memories are transferred into long-term storage. So we do know that some of the brain activity we're experiencing during sleep is related to memory. Nevertheless, we also know that we're more open to spirit communication and intuition from our higher selves during dreams. That's because while we're dreaming, anything goes. So the skeptical, logical parts of our brains are more relaxed. Does this mean that every time we dream of a loved one, it's a visit from spirit? Of course not. Our brains are still processing images and experiences and memories and flushing out images that no longer serve us. But we do know that dream visitation is one of the most common ways that our loved ones can visit those of us who aren't open to mediumistic experiences during waking life. The difference between a valid dream visitation and a typical dream is the depth and feeling. Was it more vivid? Did it leave you feeling comforted and uplifted? Those are signs of valid visitations. Otherwise, your experience may be more along the lines of a typical dream. So how much benefit can you get out of a typical dream? It's up to you, of course, how much effort you want to put into deciphering dream messages. If you want to remember your dreams more, make sure you get plenty of sleep, for the dream portion of your sleep cycle elongates as the night goes on. And you may want to consider getting a dream journal to set next to your bed. That way you can jot down just a few words of your dream so that you can remember it when your waking brain takes over. You'll want to do this before you check your phone or get out of bed. Then, as you think about what insight you're going to gain from your dreams, you'll want to think about your memories and experiences related to the subject matter. For example, a favorite dream story of mine is about a woman who talked about a dream she had where this hand reached down from heaven and said, "This is the meaning of life." Slowly the hand opened up to reveal a single jelly bean. It wasn't until later she recalled that the day before she'd been walking down the street and she'd passed a candy shop. She'd looked inside longingly at the brightly colored sweets and she'd wanted to go in to get some jelly beans, her favorite snack. But alas, she was trying to lose weight. She was in a hurry, running errands, getting business taken care of, so she decided to forgo this little pleasure. Well, the dream reminded her that every day we really should enjoy what life presents us that day. Every day we can enjoy the magic in life. When interpreting your dreams, should you rush out and get a big book of dream meanings and symbols? Not necessarily. Only you can describe what things mean to you. For example, when you think of a seagull, you might associate that with beautiful memories of seaside vacations. But for somebody who's lived in the ocean, maybe they associate it with a dirty scavenger. When you're interpreting your dreams, only you can describe what something means to you and therefore how the dream should be interpreted. I hope this has been insightful to you, and I wish you good luck on your journey of dream interpretation. And along the journey, I wish you lots of When I decided I wanted to launch my own YouTube show, I faced a lot of challenges, not the least of which was the fact that I had zero experience with professional video editing. So what was I going to do? I took a course. I learned. I had remembered a time many years ago when I had needed to learn some software very quickly for a big work project, and I had done that at lynda.com, Linda with the Y. So I went over there and I learned that they've actually been purchased by LinkedIn Learning. So I went there, I signed up, and it turns out that they have a really good deal. It's, at the time of this filming, it's around $30 per month with no commitment, and you get unlimited access to all of their different courses that they have there. So I went there, I took a full course on how to edit in Adobe Premiere Pro, and it was just exactly what I needed. Now, I've had other good success with other online learning platforms as well. In particular, I've really enjoyed one called Udemy. So that's just like the word academy, but with the letter U instead, udemy.com. And Udemy is set up a little bit differently. What you do is you purchase each individual course instead of like a membership thing. So that's really great if you know you want to learn like a particular subject, but maybe you're planning on spreading it out over a little bit of time. Just a little tip for you. Udemy has certain published prices for their courses, but they're also known for running big sales. So if you go there and the course prices, aren't quite doable for you, just keep your eyes open for a big sale that they might have soon. I've also had people recommend other platforms. In particular, there's one called Coursera, like the word course with R-A on the end. And that one came highly recommended to me, but I don't have personal experience with that one yet, so I can't necessarily recommend that one. But both LinkedIn Learning and Udemy.com are great. They've got a lot of variety of content, and not just software either. I've actually taken psychology courses on both of those platforms and enjoyed that a lot. Now, LinkedIn Learning is really geared a little more towards the professional, whereas Udemy is the professional plus lots of other interesting, unique courses as well. For example, I actually saw that on udemy.com they have courses there on mediumship. Now, I didn't personally take any of those courses, so I can't specifically recommend if they're good courses or not. But the nice thing is that both platforms have a rating system, so you can see how popular a course is. I did go ahead and sign up for an affiliate program through udemy.com, so I'll put that link in the description. LinkedIn Learning, I don't have an affiliate program for that. They're more like I said, more professional. I don't think a psychic medium is quite their thing, but I'll go ahead and put their link in the description nonetheless. So check out both of those, especially now with all the time we're spending at home, and if you've been doing a lot of binge watching on your entertainment, maybe something a little fresh would be suitable for you. So try learning instead. I hope you like it. Where are ghosts? Where are spirits? Where are your loved ones? Are they in the cemetery? Maybe. Before I answer that question, let me start with a disclaimer. The spirit world, of course, is not scientifically proven, so any answers that I give are simply based on anecdotal information, my personal interactions with the spirit world, and spiritual texts that I've read over the years. So, having given that disclaimer, I believe that the spirit world is all around us. I believe that it's another plane of existence. It's simply a plane of existence that vibrates at a much higher frequency. If you imagine, for example, a ceiling fan, when that fan is on low, you can easily see the fan blade. But if you turn that up high, it becomes much more difficult, sometimes impossible, to see the fan blades at all. Spirit energy is a lot like that. When we're in our physical bodies, we are vibrating at a low frequency. When we are out of our physical bodies, we are able to vibrate at a much higher frequency, making it impossible for low vibrational entities to perceive. Basically, spirits can be all around us. Well, if that's the case, why do we find spirit energy more strongly in certain locations, such as a haunted house? Well, in many cases, I believe that is simply residual energy. Residual energy is just the energy of spirit that has gotten trapped into an environment. An example, if you can imagine that you've got a large ceramic jar and you fill it with coffee beans and you store coffee beans in this jar for many years. One day you dump out all the coffee beans, you have a heck of a cup of coffee, and then if you were to put your nose into that empty jar, I bet you would still smell coffee in there. Residual energy is just similar to the residual oils from the coffee beans. It's simply a leftover vibration that has gotten trapped in the essence of a particular environment. Having that energy trapped in the environment also explains why we find that a lot of times when people start doing renovations to an old home, it may kick up some of this spirit activity. It's kind of like kicking up dust. If you disturb the environment where the energy is trapped, you're going to have more of that energy come out. So, if the energy can be anywhere, if it can be all around us, our loved ones can be all around us, where are they? Well, our loved ones do continue to learn and grow on the other side. They do have their spirit tasks that they're doing, but they do spend time around us, watching over us, being with us, because they love us. And so they're around us many times, not all the time, you certainly have your privacy, but they're around us and watching over us many times, and they are especially around us whenever we're thinking about them or whenever we're speaking to them. So, are your loved ones in the cemetery? Yes, they are, whenever you're in the cemetery. I love creating the Channeling White Light show, so I'm extremely grateful for all the support that I've received. Today I specifically want to thank Roseanne Kiley of West Village Market. West Village Market is a progressive, ethical, compassionate store that makes it easy to shop local. I've asked the owner, Roseanne Kiley, to take just a few moments to tell us about West Village Market.
We've been here about 11 years. And we're delighted to be in the West Asheville community and be a community grocery store. We're a natural food store, and we carefully curate our selection of products. We have some awesome buyers that find the newest things on the market, and we like to focus on special diets. So like right now we're really focusing hard on vegan, whether we're talking about for health reasons or for ethical reasons, climate change. We feel it's important to make sure people know the wide variety of choices that they have in that. And we have a diner here called Sunflower Diner, which is a vegan diner, and it's celebrating its first anniversary tomorrow, as a matter of fact. But, that's an awesome thing for people to discover and to be able to explore some of the products that we have on our shelf and have them prepared for them. So, whether it's that or whether it's issues about, the environment and the packaging and plastics and things like that, we try to have a really ethical practices in all aspects of the business. So we hope you'll come see us, and we're open every day from 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. And we practice social distancing, and we practice masks and hand sanitizing. We're very careful, and people feel very safe here. So we're just honored to serve the community, especially at this time of chaos.
Thank you so much for sharing that information, Roseanne. If you have an ethical product or service and you would like to sponsor the Channeling White Light show, I would be very grateful for your sponsorship. Please visit my website, channelingwhitelight.com, for details. Okie dokie, that's a wrap. If you found most of this show to be tolerable, please click on the little thumbs up icon. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe and click on the little bell for notifications. The next episode will be out and ready to howl at on the full moon of October 31st. Halloween! So I'll see you then. In the meantime, episode 2 is now complete. Peace out!